Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. Sing, here it comes. Sing, here it comes. Not just yet, not just yet, not just yet, not just yet. Anticipation, anticipation. Despite how much you hate, it's time to walk away. Anticipation, anticipation. Despite how much you hate, it's time to walk away. Anticipation, anticipation. The moment of death, and not just yet.
Oh, hey. Hang on, let me check. I have not. I was talking with the boys, just joking around with the boys. So there's actually a little bit behind on my work. Hey, it's Captain John. Welcome to Retro Trekkers. It's going to be a really fun one tonight. Folks, let's get into some Retro Trekkers. We are talking about the original series episode, A Piece of the Action. I don't know how long it's been since you've seen this one. For me, it's got to be more than like 25 years. I mean, we might be talking 35. It's a long time since I saw this one, and I have a lot of good things to say, and I have a good, strong feeling the other fellas do too. And I hope everybody in chat does too. So if you're watching this, feel free to speak up in chat. Let us know you're there. And let's get the show started.
Retro Trekkers. Get down with the retro. Retro Trekkers. Captain John and Commander Joe. Retro Trekkers. We love our Star Trek. Retro Trekkers. The nerd muscles get to flex. Retro Trekkers. Get down with the retro. Retro.
Oh,
Let's get it done.
this episode has it all. And so let's get the fellas in here. I don't do this alone. I, of course, have my first officer. He is an actual gem, folks. This guy is fantastic. Say hello to Commander Joe Townsell.
Hello, Captain John Weber, and I have one question for you, sir. When are we going to get those really cool head-to-toe covering outfits we see in the intro? Gotta get those.
I've been looking at that going, we may need a new intro. We may need a new intro. It seems even hard to say. Hey, let's go below decks and open up a channel to where Chief Petty Officer Eric Kramer is. Chief Kramer, how are things going down there?
Oh, just glorious. Another day, another below decks without fucking windows.
It hasn't changed outside. It's still dirty. We are in the dirtiest part of space. Mr. Kramer, you are an old school Star Trek fan. This must have been a very thrilling choice from your point of view, or not? How do you feel about it?
No, this was surprising because we've had these episodes where I had memories of really enjoying it and then seeing it and going, oh, that wasn't anything like what I remember. This one, I have memories of seeing it when I was much younger because I'm like with you. I haven't seen this in decades.
Yeah.
And I remember not liking it and just sort of going, oh, another, another backlot set,
Yes.
Earth flows. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
But when I rewatched it, I really kind of enjoyed it. For all its faults, it was like it was a really fun little episode. Windows are not overrated, Chris.
Ensign Rosario says
John's description is all I have instead of a view.
Raphael asks, does old school mean you were parked in front of your 10-inch black and white TV when it was first run?
Pretty damn close.
Not for me. Because I'm with Chris on this. I believe we had a 16-inch black and white.
Ooh, giant.
But we've talked about this a little bit. Usually when you're at our age, which is early 60s, that's our age. That's not the years that we no, that is the years we come from, isn't it? Anyway. When we were little kids, I remember being in first grade when the syndication started. And my parents were also like, you have to go to bed at 8 p.m. And so the fact that Star Trek TOS, the original series, was on from 7 to 8 p.m. and then we had to go to bed, that actually kind of worked for me because I was watching Star Trek every night of the week. And I loved that. Well, John Weber's Conversation Killers.
I just want to make sure you complete your thoughts, sir. I mean, I have similar memories. I mean, fortunately, I'm a little bit too young to remember watching them for the first time ever. But yeah, not right around the time they went into stripping Monday through Friday. I mean, yeah, it's a daily delight.
Let's get this whole thing started, shall we?
John Weber met with crickets.
Let's talk about the very beginnings of this episode. So this is an episode from season 2. It was a 26 episode season 2. And it was the wait a minute. It was the 20th. Oh my. Piece of the action. Yeah, piece of the action was near the end. Now, I always think about this in terms of at the end of season 2, they really were afraid there was not going to be a season 3. Like there was a lot of blood in the water. It seemed like the network was not supporting the show that well. And they were trying different things, which was one reason why there were humor episodes like this one. Though I have to say, I don't remember it as being a humor episode.
No, neither do I. And I still don't look at it as a humor episode, actually. But
I mean, I don't know if it's a funny episode or it's an episode they did in a funny way.
I think it's a funny episode. We'll get down and dirty, but
I would lean the latter.
Yeah.
Lean the latter.
I do want to point out, so this one was co-written by David P. Harmon and Gene L. Kuhn. Gene Kuhn, of course, one of the great writers that Gene Roddenberry would hand scripts to and say, give this a punch up. Story from David P. Harmon. I did want to throw everybody's attention over to this. This was I believe the only episode directed by James Comack. Does anyone remember the show, The Courtship of Eddie's Father?
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So Bill Bixby's swinger hipster friend was played by James Comack, who was also an exec producer on the show.
Oh, if only there was a device where you could go.
And as our good friend
up.
Our good friend Chris Regan says, he also created
All right, I'm with you.
Cotter. James Comack is, he was executive producer on Welcome Back, Cotter, and I believe also
That's
on
right.
Yeah,
he was also the Night Stalker, wasn't he? I'm sorry, that was Kolchak. Never mind.
Don't do that to me. You know I love Kolchak. You know I would throw all this away in a heartbeat if we talked about Kolchak.
Oh, you want to do it?
Should we maybe end the season for Retro Trekkers and just turn our Tuesday nights into recapping and reviewing Kolchak, the Night Stalker?
Kolchak. I loved Kolchak as a kid. Are you kidding?
Just one of the best shows and a heartbreaker. That,
you want to talk about it. You want to talk about an actor that could challenge Shatner for over the top. Like, holy shit.
Oh, Darren McGavin. Oh, absolutely. Oh, man, we
Hey, if it
interrupt.
didn't potentially result in TROs, we could call it retro stalkers for that matter.
Speaking of EPs, that's what Joe Townsend does. He comes up with incredible ideas, and then we make shows out of them.
Very funny, no fun intended.
And I do love this. Yes, William, you young whippersnapper, you. One of the actors was from the TV show Alice, and I got to give credit to our good buddy Chris, who entered yelling "Tay-back." Vic Tayback, as Raphael points out, as Boss Krakow. You know something? Let's get into this episode with the beats.
There may be a mention of that somewhere in there. I can't recall.
This week's beats. Oh boy, I edited them together about 2 hours ago and just laughed the whole time. But I hate when people do that. I hate when people tell you something's funny. So let's do what they say to do. Let's show. So here we go, folks. Put together by our own Commander Joe Townsend. Here are the beats.
All right.
Stop beats.
The beats.
Just when you thought you were out, we pull you back in. It's time to make you an offer you can't refuse.
How about that Brando?
Join the Retro Trekkers for a piece of the action. One of about a dozen parallel Earth morality tales from the original series.
The Enterprise receives a 100-year-old radio transmission. Hey, is that Mr. Weber's Webble Mystery? Ah, we wish. No, it's an old-style message from the USS Horizon, a past visitor to Sigma Iosha 2. Hey, Sulu, let's head on over there. And Uhura, get someone large and in charge on the horn. She contacts an Ioshan named Bella Akmix with the self-appointed title of Boss. Akmix invites Kirk to beam on down to the planet's surface, where they'll be greeted by a reception committee as honored guests. Well, that sounds cool. Let's go. Time for our terrific trio to go planetside. Hey, check it out. It's another one of these Earth-like planets. You know, the ones where we can use existing studio backlots. Well, this one has been dressed up to look like 1920 Chicago. Stereotypically so. Everyone's wearing cool gangster duds and carrying submachine guns. No need for carry and conceal permits here. Hey, look, Spock. Look, Bones. Here comes the welcoming committee. But why are they carrying Tommy guns? Well, Kirk and company will soon find out. The landing party surrenders its phasers and communicators. What's the meaning of this? Before Kirk gets his answer, a drive-by shooting occurs. One of the gunmen is killed. The other refers to the hit being committed by another hoodlum named Jojo Krakow. So, how did this wacky world become a global gangsta's paradise? Well, it seems that when the Horizon visited Iosha 100 years prior, they left behind some textbooks. No big deal, right? Well, yes, actually. Turns out the Ioshians are very imitative. It is the sincerest form of flattery, after all. They quickly emulated everything they found within those pages. Too bad the crew of the Horizon didn't leave some Playboy magazines behind to emulate.
That's pure Townsend right there.
Holy prime directive violation, Batman. Actually, the Horizon's interference occurred prior to the implementation of General Order 1. So, Kirk can muck around with the Ioshians all he wants. He's in the clear to don his own gangster garb later in this episode. Among the books left behind, there's a detailed volume called Chicago Mobs of the 20s. Copyright 1992. You know, lots of troublesome things came out of the 1990s. Remember Khan, Nooney, and Singh? Well, this coffee table book has become the Bible for the Iotans, and they have based their entire society on the gangsters immortalized within those pages. A good thing they don't have access to reality television. Kirk, Spock, and McCoy are taken to Omix's office. Boss Ockmix is the numero uno hood on these city streets. The boss, Oxmix, not Springsteen, shows them the book. Not surprisingly, Ockmix wants something from the feds. Well, give us more heaters. You call them phasers. So I can wipe out all the other bosses and take over the entire planet. Give us more heat to pack, and within 8 hours, or I'll fit you with a Chicago overcoat. It'll be quitins for you, Captain Quake. Ockmix has the landing party taken to a warehouse and held under guard. He then takes one of the confiscated communicators and contacts the Enterprise. He threatens to kill the landing party unless the ship provides him with 100 heaters and instruction manuals. In the warehouse, the gunmen are playing cards. Oh, this is boring. We need a new game. Now, be careful what you wish for. The landing party discusses the future of the Iotans. Spock's logical conclusion? Although Ockmix's methods may seem messed up, the ultimate goal is for unity and order. Hey, speaking of Khan, wasn't this what he wanted in 1996?
Yeah.
And didn't Spock turn up his nose at that notion?
Wait,
Whatever.
hold on.
Regardless, Kirk decides that anarchy isn't the answer either. So it's time to take action, and not a minute too soon. The laughs are getting pretty thin and groan-inducing. Kirk's notion? Since the Starfleet crew contaminated the culture in the first place, it's now their responsibility to set things right from what once went wrong. So is it time for some cool Captain Kirk karate chops and drop kicks? Nope. Instead, he distracts one of the gunmen with a nonsensical and non-existent card game called Fizzbin. Kirk is clearly making this up as he goes. Still, this allows the landing party to overpower the gunmen and escape. Kirk grabs one of the mobsters' Tommy guns. He sends Spock and McCoy to find the local radio station, get a hold of Scotty, and have themselves beamed up. Kirk plots his next move while having a game of billiards with the big boss. His plan? Kidnap Ockmix and bring him back to the Enterprise. Did he really think he'd get to the big boss so easily? Kirk is quickly greeted by another gangster wearing iron. This guy, Zabo, takes Kirk for a ride. This time Kirk is taken to the office of Krakow, who struts around with a maul on each arm. Big surprise. He's another boss who wants to be in control of the planet too. Kirk again refuses to provide heaters for Krakow and is put in the corner to think about what he's done. Spock and McCoy find the radio station. Spock pinches the station operator's neck and he's down for the count. They contact Uhura and are beamed back to the Enterprise.
This is my favorite.
Shortly thereafter, Ockmix contacts the ship through the communicator he stole. He informs Spock that Krakow has kidnapped Kirk. He offers to assist in getting Kirk back if Spock and McCoy will return to his office. Yeah, I'll be nice this time. I promise. Spock has his doubts that Ockmix will be a good gangster. Using wire from a radio, Kirk rigs a trip line across the doorway and then calls for help. He knocks out 2 gunmen and escapes with a machine gun. He's now wearing iron like the big boys. In the transporter room, Spock instructs Scott to set one of the ship's phaser banks to a strong stun setting. He and McCoy then beam down to Ockmix's office, where they're again met by armed hoods. Shocker. Ship's log, Mr. Spock recording. Incredible as it seems, Dr. McCoy and I are once again prisoners of the chief criminal boss of a society patterned after old Earth gangsters. After listening back to this log entry, Spock decides it makes him look like a real idiot and promptly erases the recording. Kirk arrives to save the day.
Kirk and Spock dress in the clothes of Kalo and one of Ockmix's henchmen. Now they look the part at least. Time for some grand theft auto as they decide to steal a car. After some fits and lurches, they drive over to Krako's lair to bag him. They are assisted by a precocious urchin newsboy who offers to create a diversion for his own piece of the action. The boy poses as Kirk's son and pretends to be injured. The hired gun droppers are duped and knocked out for the count. Kirk and Spock break into Krako's headquarters. Finally, we have the upper hand. Well, not so fast, Captain. Krako's men quickly overpower them yet again. Kirk tells Krako that the Federation is taking over. Okay. To show him they mean business, they beam Krako up to the Enterprise just long enough to show him what badasses they really are. And once again, they overpower Krako's men. Time to head back to Obmix's office. Kirk has Scotty locate and transport the other bosses there, including Krako. They all wonder who the stool pigeons are who snitched on them to the feds. Krako's men try another hit on Ockmix's territory in an attempt to rescue their big shot gang leader. Another gunfight breaks out. The landing party loses their guns again. Well, Kirk is fed up. Enough of this BS. Scotty, set the ship's phasers to a wide stun and knock out the entire city block. That'll show these small timers who the real boss is. Scotty fires phasers. Direct hit. A bunch of gangsters keel over. The mobsters are finally persuaded to cease hostilities. Captain, why didn't we just do this after the first act? Oh, shut up, Spock. The bosses all agree to Federation control, with Ockmix as the top boss and Krako as his lieutenant. Hey, not only that, now that Ming is dead, Baron will be the new ruler, and Voltan will be the general of the army. Oh, wait. Sorry. That's Flash Gordon. But on Iosha, they will call the new system a syndicate. All the gangsters are thrilled. Well, except for one. Jojo Mel Krako says, "Oh, screw this. I like Captain Kirk's other idea much better. I'm going to move to Phoenix and open a diner there with 3 spunky waitresses. If you don't like it, then you can just kiss my grits." Oh, but forget Mel's. Between you and me, if you want some really delicious eats, try the Great Grub from the Kramer Grill and Bar. Come for the stories, leave with the recipe. Back aboard the Enterprise, Spock is fretting about Kirk's solution to the Ioshan dilemma. It works something like this. The Federation takes a 40% cut of the planet's annual action. Yeah, right, that'll work out just dandy. Shut up, Spock. You're just not used to dealing with money. All that dough will go into the planetary treasury for the common good. Uh-oh, Jim. Oh, what is it, Bones? I left something behind. You mean after all that trouble caused by the dimwits of the horizon, now you've potentially contaminated Ioshan society again? What did you forget? Oh, it's just my favorite red hat. Oh, well, that's okay. No big deal, right? What harm could that do? Now, let's all have a hearty laugh to annoy Spock.
Spock, you silly guy.
All right, hero. All right, we've done the recap. Now let's do the review. It's time to get down and dirty. Any comments, any thoughts you have, anybody, feel free in the chat. Feel free right here on the screen, gentlemen. Let me go to you first, Mr. Kramer.
Yes.
Is there anything about this episode that you would change? Because I suspect there must be one or two.
Oh, what are you kidding? Damn near everything. But it's still, I found it, I found it really fun to watch, despite all the holes and plot problems. And
Oh, yeah.
it was just, there's something about it. I mean, you got a couple of really good character guys in there playing mob bosses. That's
Oh,
fun.
yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Look. Could it have been a better script? Yes, obviously. All sorts of ways to make it more interesting, but it's sort of like a character piece. Again, I was I was wonderfully surprised how much I just enjoyed watching the guys work.
Same here.
K-Back and those guys, that's what they did, man. That's what they're hired guns. That's what you brought them on to do.
That's a very good point. We will talk a bit about the character actors in this because they're really terrific in this.
Yeah,
episode.
they're great. They're really fun.
And this was a time back when there were a lot of hour-long shows that used guest stars every week, and these guys were making a good living. A lot of these guys just booking this show here and that show there, and then of course everybody has to be on Bonanza, and then this show here and then that show there. I was I was very impressed by how fun and kind of how light it was. And I didn't hate that it was light. Which is interesting because Joe and I have talked about this quite a bit. And Joe, I'll lead into you with it, which is we talk about now how the shows, and we watch the new shows, they'll do 10 episodes and almost every one of them has to be either the fluffiest, goofiest thing or the heaviest, most, I can't catch my breath episode. And they're, in a 26 episode season like this one, you get some like middle funny, middle drama, but also this was interesting. Is that how you felt, Joe?
Yeah, sure. The thing is, I think I have a minor, not disagreement, but a different interpretation than you fellas, in the sense that I don't think this was ever written for anything other than laughs. I mean, that's hence probably some of the plot contrivances and the repetition. I got the gun. Okay.
Yeah. That was.
But
great.
Also consider the fact this is one of about 3 or 4 parallel Earth stories in season 2 that were in rapid succession. I mean, Bread and Circuses, Patterns of Force were all right there.
Yeah.
So you needed something. You needed a light interpretation at this point, and that's what we got.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I love how Chris Regan pointed this out. Chris Regan points out one of the co-writers of this episode wrote the Gilligan's Island Harlem Globetrotters.
That's fantastic.
See?
That's fantastic.
With an emphasis on film. Chris has a really interesting question, and I don't know about this. Was the X-Files the last sci-fi show to do one-off funny episodes? Well, he says shows, but
Strange New Worlds does it. That's current.
Yeah.
And they are pretty wacky. Though Discovery was not big on that. So maybe that's one of the things during the 5 seasons of Star Trek Discovery. Maybe they were like, hey, when we do the next series and it's more of a nod to classic Trek, we got to do some funny ones because it can't always be the end of the whole damn universe.
Well, we had Discovery and Picard going at this time, and they were both pretty heavy and dramatic in that sense. So, yeah.
That's a good point, Raphael. I noticed that even specific music cues for the nudge, nudge, wink, wink episodes. That's true. There was always like that.
I will give the nod to the director on this, in that we saw the camera move in ways that you just didn't see in any of the other Star Trek episodes.
I'm so glad
you were
you brought
suddenly looking at the bridge from different angles.
Yeah.
Camera moved like quite a bit. like
Yeah.
different angles in the transporter room. Like it was just visually, I thought a much different show from the norm.
That is,
You know, one camera angle I really appreciated, if I can interject,
Yeah.
was at one time when the camera's looking up at Lieutenant Uhura.
Yeah, that's what I
Saw that.
mean. It was sort of
Yeah.
like, and it's jarring, but in a good way, you
Yeah.
know, because you're just like, oh, what, where are we? Yeah,
Several times. So this is James Comack, who was the director. So you got to give it up to him for that. Several times they do it's a big room. So we've got the camera way up high shooting down, which is always there's going to be a fist fight. You know, when they
Lots
square
going on.
off, they
right.
show you the whole hockey rink like that, you know, there's going to be some kind of, fracas going on, which at the time was very common in Batman and Wild Wild West.
Batman did it great. Oh my God.
But you're right, because I do remember so many scenes of like, I don't think I've seen that kind of angle.
Yeah,
before.
the camera just moved in a way that all these shots, it becomes, you don't realize how much you settle in to a series like that. You're sort of greeted with the same shots, same view of the bridge. So when they change it up,
Yeah.
it really gets your attention.
Yeah, and season 1 has a lot of sort of similar looking scenes. There's a lot of single shot to single shot during a conversation.
And believe me, I get it. You know what? When when you need to shoot 14 pages in a day, like you're not going, all right, let's get the tracks out. And then you know what? We'll track them all the way down the hall. And then let's keep the camera live when they're in and we'll, no, you can't fucking do that. But
Do you think, Eric, that he did that, James Toback did that because there was this episode didn't have a lot of star in it. It didn't have a lot of science fiction in it. It had some, but is he trying to mix it up? Is he trying to make it look like The Untouchables? Is he trying to make it look like, this is your FBI? Is he trying to add?
I never once got that. But I just, what I got was a guy that went, you know what? How about we put the camera over here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was just like, no, we got this big ass set. We're here. Let's just turn over onto Uhura here. Like,
right.
but interesting though. Like some really nice shots, and that backlot set that we've seen God knows how many times over the course of, made it look good, all the action stuff looked good.
It's funny too, because I didn't mind, as Joe pointed out during the beats, how much stereotypical stuff there was in it. I didn't mind that because I felt like they were telling us that, this is the whole planet. Every man is a gangster. Every woman's a mall. They don't know how to do it any other way.
Right. Which is why I wish, like when you asked me about stuff that they would change, it would have been an easy change for them to get some of the gangster stuff wrong.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, like they just sort of misread the book. And well, there's actually somebody actually mentioned this in the comments, and I noticed it too right away.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to play pool.
Right. Yeah, Mike pointed that out. Yeah.
He's just knocking the balls around, and it doesn't even need to be the cue ball. So I thought it would have been fun to play with more of that stuff.
Yeah.
Or maybe they get like some of the lingo and stuff wrong.
Well, I have to go back to what Regan said earlier, that these were not Italian American names. So I think they're using their alien names. I think Oxmix, Krakow. Yeah. I think that's what they would have been calling each other, 100 years ago when the Horizon was here. And I really appreciated that kind of lack of direct translation. They could have gone a little further with it, but I guess, it's still beginner Star Trek, so everything's kind of like, hey man, this will blow your mind. There are gangsters in space, man. Like, that's it. That's the
The only
high.
problem I had with the non-Italian names was that I could have said Corleone a lot easier multiple times than Oxmix. I must have flubbed that a dozen times.
You poor guy. Poor guy. I was listening to you fight that, and I was as I was editing, I was like, Oxmix. Yeah, that's hard to say.
Yeah.
That is not fun to say. Any other things anybody wants to point out before we go to our next segment?
All the discussion continues. We can move on to the next section as far as I'm concerned.
All right, because now you got to figure out your MVPs. I know Sauter already mentioned his.
I got mine.
Let's get it. All right, most valuable players in this episode. Okay, Joe Townsville, you're up. Who is your MVP for a piece of the action?
Well, I have this MVP, and I'm actually going to refer to one of the reasons I picked him in the tidbits. But I got to go with Anthony Caruso, who played Oxmix.
Bella.
No, I just thought the character as portrayed was a lot of fun. The driving force behind all the events. Others are great too. I mean, we all love Krakow, aka Mel. But
Payback. I really loved Anthony Caruso in this. I wonder, were the glasses given to him, or do you think because he really used those big, giant horn rim glasses. He really used those to great effect.
I think it was a prop.
They probably just gave it to him. Oh, you're the smart.
I don't know. He was pretty comfortable wearing them. I have a feeling that he's an eyeglass wearer. You know what I mean?
Maybe he auditioned with his own glasses.
Yeah.
And they were like, get that man some alien glasses. He knows how to do good horn rim
and
acting.
it sets him apart from Tayback, and you know what I mean. It makes the two mob bosses look different.
And that was another thing that
makes him look more of like the intellectual, that he's actually ruling the majority of the planet.
Yeah.
No, these are excellent points. I tend to agree now. Yeah.
Joe, did you choose yours? Yes.
Yeah, we just did mine.
Okay, Eric, I'm sorry, I'm reading, I'm forgetting where I am. Eric, MVP for you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with Joe on that, but I am going to add Vic Tayback. Like, I'm going to give it to the two character guys, because for me, that made this show completely enjoyable to watch. And Tayback with the greased down front hair, like, come on. And that was him. That was him in the makeup trailer going, you know what would be great? Give me this.
Well, and we're talking about the camera placement too. Like, I've never looked at sexy Tayback before. He was in great shape. He didn't have a gut. How old
would he have been? How old would he have been then?
Oh, 30s.
I think I can get. Yeah, his date of birth was 1930, January 6th. Ooh.
Oh, okay. So he was okay. All right. Oh, 1936.
Well, he was born in 1930, and the show was from.
Okay. So he was like.
Oh, he would have been 36,
already
37.
reaching his mid 30s.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't that old in Alice, which came along a little bit later, obviously.
They made 40-year-olds very different.
Yes, indeed.
When we were in our 40s, we did not look like the 40-year-olds that we had been watching on television.
Well, that's the old meme, right? When you go back and you look at Carol O'Connor and everything, they give their actual ages at the time. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, Red Fox was in his late 40s when he did Sanford and Son?
Yeah.
Oh my God, was he? Holy cow, I didn't know that.
Brady was young too.
Vic Tayback passed away in 1990.
Yeah.
He, of course, had done a lot of films, but I wanted to also kind of go back to
60. That's sad. What did
Yeah.
he have, like a heart attack or something?
let's see if they say because yeah, that is awfully young to pass away.
Jesus, he better be young.
And while John's looking, I'll point out on Vic Tayback is that if you want to see the difference between doing something for more dramatic purposes versus comedic, Vic Tayback also played Mel in Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. Very dramatic.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
That's
No idea.
right.
Do you realize he was one of the villains in the Shaggy DA?
I do now.
Nice pull, John. Nice pull.
Hey, don't thank me. Thank Memory Alpha.
but that and every other movie like that.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like how many bad guys? One should actually go to IMDb and just sort of figure how many bad guys he played. How many of those,
The yeah, sorry, I'm catching up on some of the comments here. So Anthony Caruso, who of course plays Bella Oxmix, he was a very good friend of Alan Ladd's, and you know what a nut I am for Alan Ladd. And so he was in most of Alan Ladd's films, like in the latter part of Alan Ladd's career, which I kind of love. Gary Berghoff in MASH. He's the only guy from the Alice movie to make it to the series. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Gary Berghoff played Radar in the movie as well.
That's right. That's right. That rare CBS crossover.
Yeah.
You're also CBS guys. That's kind of cool, too. Josh Postel says, when I saw this episode once, I couldn't help but think Space Sopranos. And I saw this before the Sopranos even existed.
Well, John and Eric were very complimentary before the show about the slides in tonight's beats. And I told John in the past, sometimes, I just have to stop myself. I thought of the Sopranos. I thought of Harlem Nights, but you can only get so many in there. I had to get an Alice slide in there. So
I do really love what you covered. And frankly, I'm going to get a tattoo of you and Eric doing Paper Moon.
Oh, wonderful.
Shoulder blade to shoulder.
Lower back, John.
Lower back. It'll
be
my
would be horrified.
It will be my tramp stamp.
It's either lower back or right across the front of your chest.
I might, yeah, that might be the one. I also want to point out the kid. The kid.
Oh yeah, kid was great.
Wasn't he great?
He was great.
When I was going through the comments, Raphael, there it is, also pointed him out. A nod to the kid who may have been the one cast member to invoke the title of Piece of the Action.
And you know what? I don't have his name in front of me. I should. I'll give away a tidbit, but he was the kid that had a recurring role as Opie's buddy in Andy Griffith's show.
That's right.
Yes, that's right.
CBS, right?
Well, CBS, because as we pointed out before, they filmed, they used the Andy Griffith outdoor sets, quite often on Star Trek.
They did. They would use, I don't want to say Riverdale.
Mayberry, John.
Mayberry, thank you. I also want to point out that young Sheldon Collins, born Sheldon Guillaume, appeared in the film The Russians Are Coming, The Russians Are Coming.
Oh, yeah.
And in an episode of Time Tunnel, he played the young version of James Darren.
Oh.
But he's
Time
been on
Tunnel. There you go. That was a series.
All right. I'll get out of the weeds of Memory Alpha.
I just know that one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Trek is when Kirk and Edith Keeler walk in front of Floyd's barbershop. That's one of my favorites.
I'm sorry, Eric. What were you saying?
Sorry about that, Eric.
No, it's this Time Tunnel reference. Do you think they're going to use the wooden horse? No, that's the myth. No, I think they're going to. Come on, we got to hang around. We got to stick around and see the wooden horse.
Oh my God. Okay, so that's MVP, and
Did
now
you have one, Captain, or no?
time for us to learn some things that we don't know. And we call those little bits of information Townsville's tidbits. So Joe Townsville, what kind of tidbits did you manage to reclaim from this here episode, A Piece of the Action?
Well, we have a few. I, of course, glean them from other sources like you do. But one of my favorites, again, referring back to Anthony Caruso, the actor who played Oxmix, was that in character, he wrote a letter to the producers after the episode had aired, telling them that things in the syndicate were going wonderfully. Thanked them all for putting it together. I thought that was really cool. I mean, just a nice in the spirit type of follow up. He didn't have to do that, obviously.
I've never been smart enough to like give thank you notes and stuff to the people who helped me get jobs. Eric, have you ever done that as an actor?
No, because it just feels like I mean, when I'm very grateful when I'm on set.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do you know, I had
Mhm.
actually the one story I have, I did, I told you this, I did Brad Pitt's very first thing he ever did, which was an episode of Growing Pains. And he played like a rock star on that. And I was his bodyguard. And he was so grateful that he had his mom make cookies and he brought them into the casting people, which I thought was like fantastic. By the way, the most beautiful human being I have ever seen in person in my life.
Really?
And beautiful is the word. Not handsome, not good looking, fucking beautiful. Like you could not take your eyes off him.
I remember when people started talking about him after Thelma and Louise.
Yeah.
And I remember being very jealous of all, the women in my life going, ooh, and then looking at him and going, no, I get it.
And you know what? Way better looking in person.
No
That's
kidding.
unusual. Yeah.
Way better looking in person. Like just like you look at him and you go, what the fuck is going on there? And like, super nice guy. Like just he was, the first thing he ever did. So he's like a little humble, but did not hold back like in performance. Like, yeah, you absolutely understand how the hell. Yes, Chris. Yes.
Undeniable. Yes.
Let me tell you something. If it came down to a decision between him or her, come here, Brad.
Was his mom good looking? Did you meet her?
No, didn't meet his mom, but I mean, those genetics have got to come from somewhere, right?
I'm weird like that. I'm like, wow, that's a good looking person. Oh, is his mom here?
But have I ever? No, because it just felt like sucking up, and it would feel like I always thought everybody would see right through that,
Right.
Oh, thank
Right.
you. Do you know what I mean? Do you
Yeah.
remember do you remember the scene in Ocean's 13 with Al Pacino up and he finally gets the phone that he wants and he gets the thank you letter and he opens it up and he starts reading it and he tears it apart like a sentence into it. That's how I always felt anything I would send would be greeted with.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Eric sent a thank you. Anybody want it? No.
Yeah. That there's like some assistant going home with the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because that's like all she's gonna have to eat at the end of the week.
But what he did, I mean, that's cool. You write a thank you in character. Like that's cool. Like I could see myself doing that.
Sonner's is still talking about Tabak's good looks. I just want to celebrate the fact that Vic Tabak was not just a slab of meat. I'm sorry, a side of beef. He was a slab of meat. He was a beef.
You know what? I think he would take side of beef as a compliment.
He would.
Like
He would.
that's the guy who knew, that's a guy who knew who he was in Hollywood. You know what I mean?
I
Of course,
feel like
if you're comparing like a well-tailored suit to like a soiled undershirt in the diner, it's it's easy to forget.
I don't know anything for a fact, but I'm guessing at least once in his life, Vic Tayback had to threaten to knock somebody's teeth out at Trader Vic's because they were being fresh. I'm just saying.
Oh, he and
Hollywood.
DeForest Kelly, I bet.
Hollywood man's man is what I'm thinking with Tayback.
Okay, we got a few
yeah.
more here.
Yeah.
Just a few quick ones. We have the ever talented James Doohan providing the voice of the radio announcer. So get your bang bang.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
You often hear Scotty, pipe in with the little bits here and there when they need it.
He was
Makes a lot of
like a
sense. He has the talent
voiceover
for it.
artist. Yeah, I mean, in the animated series, they leaned on him to do a lot of voices.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't realize he was the DJ.
Yes, he was. So go get your bang bang Tommy gun.
Sutter points out that this episode aired next after Gangsters of Triskelion. So the show was deep in its funny, goofy phase, which I loved as a 10-year-old kid. And of course,
Eric, when should we do that one on the Retro Trekkers? What's your thoughts?
I'm trying. That one is about, again, remind me quick, like I know the title.
A
It's
girl
the one
in
where they're betting on
tinfoil
him.
bikini and forced gladiator
They're
games.
betting on them fighting, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
20
that what-
quattros on the newcomer.
Yeah. That's what I thought it was. Yeah.
But what Joe's referring to is, I am your drill thrall. Oh, yes, you are.
She was gorgeous, by the way. As they all were. I don't remember that episode being funny though. Or
Well, it wasn't unlike this one. It wasn't intentionally.
I don't
funny.
remember that actually being goofy. It sort of like that one sort of made sense. You know what I mean?
Well, they were being forced into servitude to fight the games, but somehow just didn't
I just want to throw this out there. I cannot remember the actress's name. She did appear in some films, sans clothing, but she also posed in what would parts of that costume, essentially posed nude for a poster that she used to sell at conventions.
Oh wow!
Good for her.
If you go out there and search for it, you will find it. And it is glorious. They are real and they are glorious. Also, Tayback was in with 6 You Get Egg Roll, apparently.
Very versatile guy. He's in a lot of great things.
Never seen that.
Yeah. All caps from Regan. What's her name? I'll look it up if I get a chance. William describes her as green hair babe in popcorn popper bra.
Hey, I got a Jiffy Pop from that, I'll tell you.
Oh, welcome to Retro Trekkers, the horniest damn show.
Horniest ship in the universe.
Hell yeah. Do you have some more tidbits?
Hey, given the hour at the time, I'll give you a couple more quick ones.
All right.
This was born or evolved from an early Roddenberry script called President Capone, which was not intended to be played for laughs.
Right.
And involved in this, which was probably the way to go.
Yeah. Wasn't this also a so when they were going to do their anniversary episode during Deep Space Nine, they knew they wanted to go back to something from the original series. And what they ended up doing, of course, was Trials and Tribulations, which is the mixture of the modern DS9 cast into the adventure Troubles with Tribbles. But that was not the only idea they had. The other idea they had was that DS9 ends up out in Iosha 7. Is that the
Sigma Iosha 2?
Ooh, Iosha 2. They end up going to that planet, and everyone there is 1960s Star Trek.
That is brilliant. brilliant.
Right? Right?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do that?
Because they had the as I always refer to it, please forgive me for not knowing what it's called, but the Forrest Gump technology
Yeah.
where
Mhm.
they could seamlessly put somebody in old footage, and rather than just manufacture new 1966 Star Trek sets
Yeah, I
and
guess that makes
costumes and
sense,
all that,
sure. Yeah,
they
yeah.
thought it'd be more fun to intermingle, and it is really fun in Trials and Tribulations. I
No,
mean,
it's a fun episode, but that other idea is fucking brilliant.
Well, and we can
Yeah.
look it up. We're all comic enthusiasts. DC Comics did, I think they took that idea and ran with it at some point because they did do a special Next Generation edition where the Enterprise E crew goes back to Iosha and finds basically Starfleet has been recreated on the planet. So
Right.
that'd be worth looking up.
Raphael, I believe you are correct. Angelique Pettyjohn, that sounds right. She does have, if you go to Celeb Skin or anything like that, you will find some great work that Ms. Pettyjohn.
That website came awfully easy off the tip of your tongue there, John.
Yeah, no research involved there.
I'm all about the research, guys. I'm all about the research. Yeah, William confirms it. It was Angelique Pettyjohn. So there you go, Chris. Don't think your fellow crew members don't want you to see the glory that is Angelique Pettyjohn, because oh my God, she's really beautiful. Anything else we want to cover, my friends?
I think that does it for tidbits. I mean, one remaining one that this was the only time that the Enterprise phasers were used to stun people on planet surface, as opposed to just pew-pewing it in space. But just an interesting little point. But yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff about this episode that's great and fun, and that's how I think it should be taken. Just a fun time.
Oh my God, if that poster ends up on Chris Regan's wall, I will be the happiest human being.
Oh, Chris.
I will be so happy. Just for my friend. Just happy for my friend. Let's do some plugs for our friends, as a matter of fact. Hey, we had our latest episode on the KGB menu debut this past week. It was smoked brisket chili, and Mr. Kramer, 2 days ago, I finished it.
Oh.
I would basically
no, I was really happy with the way that turned out. I gotta say,
it's a great chili. It's one of those. It's a meal in a bowl. It's got beans and tomatoes, which I love, and they're great source of veggie that you can mix.
It's a chili that'll make everybody happy.
It's not a connoisseur's chili in the sense that it doesn't follow the rules of Texas chili, it doesn't follow the rules of this chili or that chili. It is a general chili that everyone can enjoy, and I'm telling you, the family really enjoyed it. So
the great thing about great chili is
a little bit about Mr. Weber, his stepdaddy.
There you go.
Oh, that's right. Some of my wrestling stuff made it in that episode.
Oh, cool.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
All
Joe.
I was going to say was the great thing about delicious chili is it's impossible to make it in small batches, so you got it to enjoy for days afterwards.
Oh, that is for sure. Especially because, and this Eric had said it from step one with this chili, was it was going to evolve in flavor as it goes, as it cools down and as the spices all into
Next day's always better.
So yes, be sure to go to YouTube, look up Kramer's Grill and Bar, and you'll find Eric Kramer on there. Eric Allen Kramer, I think you used on that account.
Yes, I need to for legal purposes.
Damn other Kramers. Our good friend Diana J. Brody has a show. It is going to be on this coming Thursday, so 2 nights from tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun because she's going to be talking with her good friend Jeff Nucera, who's the director of Tight and Nerdy. which is a film about, let's see, she wrote it down for me. We'll be chatting with Jeff Nucera, who just finished up his doc, Tight and Nerdy. It's about a burlesque troupe that strips exclusively to Weird Al music. Diana, a great editor herself, says, I've seen the most recent cut and it is fucking fantastic. Saw the troupe live at Sketchfest this year and they are excellent. So that's going to be... Oh, isn't that amazing? I just love everything about it. That will be on Thursday, 6 p.m. And go over to Diana's YouTube channel, and that's NLE Academy, NLE Academy, all one word. And check out her as she interviews her good friend Jeff. And that'll be sexy fun.
Weird Al is sexy.
I hope you are. That is so true. It is so up our alley. And then if you can hang around on Thursday night and come back to Weber Internet Thingy, like and subscribe, please. You can catch Jack Webb's comedy show. I will be playing the Jack Webb show. It was a comedy show that he did for just a few weeks. And it is nuts. It's one of the weirdest things. I'm actually going to have to make the video myself because nobody has one on YouTube. That's how rare this show is. So, and I should probably post it on YouTube, shouldn't I? I'll get 2 videos out of this one. So join me on Thursday after you watch Brody's interview with Jeff. I hope you'll stop by the Webbo Mystery and listen along with us as we listen to Jack Webb's crazy comedy. And he's quite good. I'm gonna play some extra stuff that he did. I'm gonna play the Johnny Carson Copper Clappers sketch.
That's a good one. I remember that.
It's so good. It's so much fun. But I'm also going to play you some of the stuff that Jack Webb did that led to him getting a comedy show. And then we'll talk about his career after that, because it just got bigger and bigger after this show. Sauter says, just the gags, ma'am. Just the gags. And on Sunday, we are going to revive our old series, Haunted Radio, which is the series that preceded Webbo Mystery that Joe and I did together. We're going to play a show for you from the series 2000 plus called When the Worlds Met. That's Sunday. All my shows right now are 7 p.m. on the Pacific Coast, 10 p.m. on the East Coast. So that'll be easy to find. And is that all? No, there's even more, because we're a week from tonight. Does Eric Kramer not make an amazing Cardassian?
I thought so.
I auditioned once, never got it.
Now, when I auditioned, I auditioned both times to be a Bolian, because those are the fat aliens. They paint you blue and they put a seam down the middle of your face.
Right.
Remember the Bolians? The guy who got the part of the Bolian that I did not get is the guy who played Francis in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, really?
I wish I could remember the actor's name. When I saw him, I was like, oh, yeah, he's good. Damn it. So, yes, join us next week, because we're going to watch one of the most dramatic, one of the most controversial, dark episodes of Deep Space Nine. A lot of people feel this way, but it is my favorite series. It's DS9. And this one, people talk about it even to this very day, about how morality is not well served in this episode, and it is so much fun to talk about and to watch. So yeah, I've wanted to do it forever, but thank you, executive producer Joe Townsell, for choosing this one.
Well, a bonus tidbit, if I may. Way back when we did the Enterprise incident where Kirk stole the cloaking device from the Romulans,
Oh yeah,
originally that was going to be more of a dark tone and more of a dark ending, where Kirk was ambiguous about the morality of it. Is this right? Should we be doing this? And they, of course, made it the happier tone. This episode succeeds where that one didn't. It definitely calls into question morality, and again, as the ad says, does the end justify the means? And it's a stellar episode, one of DS9's best.
and the actor who plays the Romulan in it, is that not that great voice actor who played Batman, who passed away not too long ago?
I couldn't say, unfortunately.
Yeah, is anybody still hanging around? Because you guys did. Mark Holton is the guy who played Francis in Pee-wee's.
We'll have to make sure we find that out before we see this episode.
Oh, for sure, because it was rare that he would do on camera work, but he was fantastic.
Yeah.
So it was actually kind of a shame that he didn't do more. Have I covered all the things here? I think I have. I guess.
So, a quick mention of Christopher Bach on Lulu.com. Check out his books there.
Yes. So can I do this quickly? I might be able to do this quickly.
Oh, take your time.
If you go over to Lulu.com, it's Chris's books are available on Shopify. I'm sorry, Chris, I'm not doing a very good job here. But they're also available on Lulu.com. And once again, what we do is we go to the bookstore, search the bookstore. Christopher Bach is his pen name. And Chris was telling me that everything's ready now. Everything is, all his books are represented. The ebooks are only $3.95. That is a great, great price. So you get them all: Opportunity Knocks, Hidden Heroes, Rogues Gallery, and Killer Weed.
And one thing about Chris is he just, throws out all the rules. That's why he's Christopher Bach, not Christopher Robach.
That is punishingly.
Sorry, Chris.
You're gonna need to add some sound effects, John.
We need a rim shot in there.
We need a rim shot.
Oh boy. All right, here we go. Thanks, everybody. Great night. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Joe Townsell. Thank you, Eric Kramer. Thanks, everybody. Everybody in the chat. What a great chat we had on this one. And that'll do it. See you next Tuesday for In the Pale Moonlight. Hopefully you'll drop by for the other shows here. Weber Internet Thing, tell your friends, would you please? All right. Good night, everybody. LLAP, you bastards.
Review retro, recap, review trackers, recap, review retro, recap, review trackers.
There he is, wild and untamed. Oh, it's Spider Hat. Beware his kiss, his pleasures unnamed. Yes, it's Spider Hat. Sitting so pretty, way up on John's head. One move of his big spider arms, and brother, you're dead. Oh, Spider Hat, yes, it's Spider Hat. You can't escape his wrath. You're on his evil path. He's on you, his name is Spider.